Hello everyone, it's Carla from Casey Creates, and I just want to say Happy New Year. It is January 4th, and I haven't really checked in or said hello or done a video in a few days, and so I wanted to come on and especially wish you a Happy New Year, and I hope your year has gotten off to a good start and that you're healthy, and looking forward to many blessings in the new year. I also want to thank those of you who have contacted me and just said Happy New Year one way or another. And I want to recognize a sweet friend of mine, Angie from our crafting community, who sent me this gorgeous Christmas card. And I'm just always so blessed and touched when people send me anything from our crafting community, especially when you live far away, all the way across the pond. And we know Angie lives in England, and she sent me this beautiful card, and I just wanted to show it to you because it's in all of the beautiful tones that I did my Christmas decorations in this year. I changed my decor to more of a neutral and somewhat woodland Nordic kind of theme, and this card is just perfect for that color scheme and theme. And I love the image of the little girl with the fur hat, and she put all kinds of texture that I love with the cheesecloth and the pearls. So I just wanted to come and show you this card and say thank you so much, Angie, for this beautiful card and for handcrafting it just for me. And she put a lovely sentiment inside, and it's made on that beautiful craft paper that I like to work with. Anyway, go over and visit Angie's channel. She's Angie Paisley. She has a whole load of crafting videos. She's really enjoyable to watch. She's quite humorous. She does haul videos and lots of card making, and she's very talented in so many ways. So I just love her to death, and I just wanted to say thank you and show you guys what she mailed me for a Christmas card. And this can stay actually as my winter decor, because I'm going to leave some of my trees and things up because they're not extremely Christmassy. And I always hate to see the Christmas season go because it's my favorite for decorating and celebrating. But I have moved on. I've moved on to Valentine's. That's another one of my favorites, and actually reminds me of a challenge Angie did a few years ago where she had everyone send her decorative hearts. And I love rewatching that video of all the hearts she received in that challenge. She got some beautiful hearts, so if you go on her channel, maybe I'll try to link that video if I can, but she did a challenge, and different crafters, a lot of crafters, sent her beautiful hearts. Excuse me. So this is the time of year where we're thinking about Valentine's and maybe just decorating or sending Valentine's. I think it's a great chance to send cards and little treasures to loved ones and friends, just little sweet treats to let them know that you're thinking about them. And I did it again. I just started crafting things. There's no real rhyme or reason to why I'm making what I'm making, and maybe that's why I started early again, because what happened the last time, this last month or two, my Christmas decorating, I got really carried away crafting all kinds of things, but then I ended up only using a few of the things I actually crafted. I love going to get the discounted items that were from the season previous and using it for the current season. So these little sparkly beads are just little styrofoam glittered beads, and they were in the Christmas section at 75% off. So I got them for little of nothing, a whole bag. And I just strung them, and apparently I'm really into garlands lately because I just keep making anything that requires making a garland of some sort. So I strung the ones that are all the same size into one garland. see if I can pull the whole thing out. It's a bit tangled here. So this video is just me kind of showing you what I've created, and I'll show you how I created a couple of the things. And then this garland, so this one's all made with the same size beads, and then this one I did 2 larger beads, 2 smaller beads, and just interchanged 2 larger, 2 smaller all the way down. And then from the Dollar Tree, so I got these glitter beads from Hobby Lobby, and then at the Dollar Tree they had these sparkly hearts on a pick, so I pulled them off and I just placed them so many inches in between on this garland. I don't know if you can see it very well that way. Let me see if I can make it make a little more sense showing it to you this way. So this is the middle, and I thought I can add more or not. I sort of fizzled out on this one as far as, you know, feeling excited about it once I got it all together. And that happens. You start crafting something and then it just doesn't really resonate anymore and you kind of put it aside. But I've got time. I'm going to probably figure out a way to make that part of the mantle garland, because I like to put a Valentine garland on my fireplace mantle. So that's those. And ever since I was little, one of my favorite treats and decorations are message hearts. Well, these are the wooden little message hearts, and I've had these for a long time. You can get them now at Hobby Lobby. All their Valentine is out. It was out last week and it wasn't on sale. It's already 40% off this week. And again, I just think that's a bit of a trick, because it's like they put it out and immediately mark it way down, which tells you it's probably, that's the true value of it. I've been picking up brand new Christmas stockings at 90% off this week. So a Christmas stocking that was $17.99 I got for $1.79 or thereabouts, which is a little frustrating when you realize that's probably all it was really worth. But if you can hang on till the end of the season and shop then, you really can do well. It's just most things are picked over, so you may not always get what you want. So sometimes you have to buy them at, you know, the regular price, or not as much of a reduced price. Anyway, these are those cute little message hearts, and these are, you know, those sugary candy hearts. They're just pure sugar, but they're the kind where you slip little hearts to people and they read little messages: true love, only you, cutie pie, you rock. Anyway, I just think they're adorable. And for some reason, I have been really enjoying manipulating with wood, which doesn't sound like you can really manipulate wood like you do clay, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Anyway, so these are the message hearts that inspired me to create the little wooden hearts I've been making. But before I show you those, I'll show you these. These are made with sheets of burlap. The burlap sheets came in a 12 by 12 paper pad, and it was fairly thick, and I'm sorry I don't have one over here to show you, but I just basically did 2 layers, one on the back and one on the front, and cut them into hearts, and then I trimmed them with good old, you know, twine, or burlap twine, and I was trying to keep that nice neutral theme. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to do some kind of garland with these as well, by just gluing ribbon on the back of them so that I can stretch them out, you know, kind of string them out. And I'll keep it real simple and understated again. I just found that color palette real soothing on the eye this year for Christmas, instead of having the reds and greens and bright colors. Then I did another one very similar, only these I cut out of cardboard and then glued burlap on the top, and then I trimmed them with a thinner burlap twine. And I didn't finish these, but I'm thinking I will, and make some kind of a neutral, or maybe even put them in between the larger ones and have a large, small kind of pattern going on these. And then these, I bought that kind of pressed board. This was a heart little streamer kind of thing. It said, I think it said welcome, and I got it at the Dollar Tree. Well, I disassembled it and altered it and just used the little press board hearts, and they had this glittery vinyl in that champagne pinky color. And so then I had some of my little wooden beads left from decorating at Christmas, and I used them to trim around the edges of these hearts to kind of let the shiny, sparkly be a little muted down with the neutral beads, wooden beads. And again, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them. These were really tricky to glue on without making a mess with the glue. So these were the only two that I was fairly happy with how they turned out. I made two others, and I tried to do hot glue and it seeped and just turned into a mess. So I recommend using tacky glue on these and just letting the glue get fairly tacky and then sticking them on. This one I set the beads on top of the heart instead of around the edge of the heart, and that one kind of turned out best because I was able to keep it more clean looking. But again, I made them just as a way to keep my hands busy and craft, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them. So I've got two more that I may or may not continue on with and put beads on. I'm not sure. I need a little drink. I have this sparkling water. What flavor is this? Lime and watermelon. It's really good. It's very refreshing. Excuse me. So I'm going to put these away, and I'll show you what I've been doing with balsa wood. So I bought these little heart shapes, balsa wood hearts, and they sell them as tags in the crafting section. One package I bought were in the tag section, the other was in another section, and it didn't have the holes in them, but it didn't matter that they had the holes, because what I've been doing with these is laying them, let me move all my little message hearts. I've been laying them on thin sheets of balsa wood and gluing them down. So I'll show you what I did. This is just some wood glue from the Dollar Tree. And it's just another one of those kind of relaxing crafts. Doesn't take a lot of skill, just patience to create them, so that you can create as many as you want. And it depends on which direction you want the grain of the wood to go, but I didn't really make that matter very much. So you just glue it down onto the wood, and this is that really thin, kind of fragile wood that I remember my brothers getting balsa wood airplanes or balsa wood little model cars, and it's so thin you can cut it with scissors. So I've been cutting them out, and I kind of get a whole little sheet of them glued down, and I let them sit overnight until they're nice and dry. And then I've been cutting them out and sanding them. Oops. You kind of have to keep it from splintering. You have to kind of hold it snug while you cut them. And I just keep layering and layering them and sanding them. And you can kind of shape the wood by just sanding it. Now, I will say it's probably safe to wear a mask when you're sanding because of the fine particles. And they say you really shouldn't breathe in the particles, especially if it's treated wood. And I don't know if balsa wood is treated wood or not, but I will admit I didn't wear a mask. I just kept it down in a big, huge bag while I sanded to make sure the dust didn't get everywhere. But I would say probably wearing a mask isn't a bad idea. So what you do is you just trim around the heart with the scissors. This is the one I just glued down, and you can cut them right away if you want to. It's just when you go to sand it, the glue might still be wet, so you want to make sure you're not, I mean, the sandpaper might get a little gummy with the wet glue, so that's partly why I let it dry. The other reason is sometimes the balsa wood will chip off if it's not dry enough. So you can see I've got it trimmed all around, but there's still the little V part there in the center that you want to get. And you can even use a little mat knife to cut that out, but I've got this little jewelry tool. They kind of remind me of pet clippers, but you can just kind of go down into that little center piece and snip it off. And so now it's on, and all you have to do is take a piece of sandpaper. I took just plain old emery boards and hot glued a slightly coarser sandpaper sheet around it, but I did find that just the emery board itself even is strong enough to smooth it. It's just they wear out faster. So you can sand around the edges with a plain old emery board, but as it wears down, you run through them quite quickly. So I put just regular sandpaper around them, and with them down in my bag, I just kept sanding and sanding, and then I'd let one batch, get through one whole batch, and then go back and glue down more on my sheet until I keep layering them and they get taller and taller. So you can kind of see this one, I could probably put 3 or 4 more layers and just keep sanding until you get the height that you want. Now, I was watching somebody do balsa wood hearts, and they had a little jigsaw, and they could cut through quite thick cubes of wood to get their hearts. But in order for me to get the height that I wanted, I just keep layering it and gluing it. And I actually like that process because it makes it one of those putsy processes that I kind of enjoy. And it makes me feel like I'm making a 3-dimensional form, which I love 3-dimensional art. I guess because I really love working with clay. And you could achieve these hearts quickly by just using air dry clay. But I wanted to capture the wood grain. And so after I got a decent tray, now the first few hearts I did, these are just layered with the balsa wood hearts that come in the package, and they're the same size. And then I sanded around them, but the wood is really hard. So when I sanded them, it took a lot more effort and strength. And it really was starting to bother my wrists from so much pressure. So the sheets of balsa wood, it's much softer. So you can gently sand these. It's even more gently than, you know, doing your nails, without a lot of pressure, and so it doesn't hurt your hands as much. And then I stained them. So that darker color, it almost looks like a sugar cookie, but the darker color is just from me staining them with my Tim Holtz oxides, or Ranger ink oxides. I used Vintage Photo, and I didn't bring the brushed corduroy over, but brushed corduroy makes a really pretty color too. This is the brushed corduroy. You can't see it really well, but I wanted to show you these that I put a little bit of glossy accent on. Can you see that? So I'm calling these my little pebble hearts, or heart pebbles. And so these I put glossy accent on, and then I'm going to put little dried flowers and then more glossy accent on top, almost like you would do for resin. And then these, they remind me of macarons. Can you see the little layering? What I did was I took I just end up in such a little mess here. Let me move some of this out of your vision. So I have a little tray filled with different shapes and size ones, but all of them, because they all started out flat, and I just kind of sculpted them by sanding them, but some of them I took and glued back to back, and that's how I ended up with these that almost look like little macarons. And then I decided to finally invest in a Dremel, because I need this for my pottery, and it really helps knock off some of the little edges that I get on my pottery from glaze and little bits of the clay. So I thought, you know what, I can also use my Dremel on these little hearts and make them even more fun to kind of fiddle with. Sometimes it's nice to have like do they call them worry stones? And you keep, I know people who keep them in their pocket and just kind of fiddle with them. I thought this would be a fun little charm type trinket to make. And with my Dremel, excuse the noise, I can take that line there and just keep sanding until they blend together. I won't do the whole thing right now because I don't want the noise to annoy you, but I'll show you how I achieved it. And again, I would suggest wearing a mask to keep the fine particles of the dust from inhaling that. But you can sand it, and then you can come back again with your little sanding stick. And of course, a Dremel is not necessary. You can do all of it with just the little sanding stick or emery board, like that. And then because it came with different bits, there's one that's got a fine point on it. And I'm not going to do this on camera because I've not really played with a Dremel, but you can use the little fine tip. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to take the fine tip, and I would just lightly trace a message and then Dremel out my little message into the actual wood, and then when I stain it, the words will show up better. So I'm gonna have some fun playing with my little Dremel and making wooden message hearts. And this is the one I just glued. I'll just show you again how I took my crimper, snipper, and snipped the heart shape out. And then again, you just keep rounding it, sanding it and rounding it and layering it, and you can build up to getting something actually that thick. And so these hearts already have a little bit of glossy accent on them, and a while ago, I don't know if this is interesting you or not, but if you're still watching, it's fun to visit with you and I appreciate it. But I want to show you these. This, I think they sold these as considered as nail art, but they're little flowers. I've actually never even opened one of these. Ooh, I'm not sure I can get it open. I'm not sure how to open this, to be perfectly honest. Suppose I should have tried opening these. 1 second, I'm gonna pause this and get this open. Oh my goodness, I paused the video because I could not for the life of me get the lids off of these. I had to pry them open with my mat knife, and I think I actually broke the very tip of my mat knife off. So that was weird. And I know I broke the little tip of this stick pin off, kind of using it like a pokey tool. But what I was gonna do is try to lay the little tiny nail art flowers onto the hearts and then cover them up with some more glossy accents. They're so tiny, I'm not sure they're even going to show up. I guess they're showing up okay. I have this package I got in the jewelry section, and I'm sure these are intended for resin. I'm kind of going to use them like resin. Let's see what color. I think I want to try the light ones. I have the whole resin kit thing. I've just never tried it. But since I've got this little wooden heart theme going, I thought maybe I would try them on here. I do have some tweezers, but I think I can manage okay with just... Can you see that? It's not showing up real well, but again, I'm trying to go for more neutral. And one other thing I'm going to try to do more this year is just use up what I have. Like I'm thinking, oh, I only have 3 of these neutral daisies, but if I need more, I can get more. But for now, I think I just want to use them. So I probably should have put a little bit of glue down first. Like I said, I'm not really doing this from experience. I'm just creating along with you. I love how tiny these are. They're so cute. I think I saw, yeah, there's little tiny leaves in here. If I don't go blind trying to get them out. Hold on. These are so teeny tiny. I'll hold it up here in a second in hopes that you'll be able to see it. Should probably have a magnifying glass in order to use these. probably is such a thing, tweezers with magnifiers for like makeup. Try to get that teeny tiny one on here. Oh, I got it. I'll move it around a little. My pokey tool will work better. Yeah, there we go. Oh, how cute. I know you can't see this yet, but hang in there with me. I'll put it on here. Another leaf. Oops, I lost him. There we go. All right. Turn it around a little bit. Put it next to the pink one so that you can see it. Oh, that is so pretty, you guys. I'll hold it up. Can you see that? Let's see if you can see it. Oh, it's a little bit glary. Slide it over some. Uh-oh. So there's 2 purple, 1 pink. Of course, it's being stubborn. There we go. I got it on there now. 2 purple, 1 pink, and then I'll try to get my leaf back on there. And we'll cover it with a little glossy accent. You won't be able to see it after I cover it until it dries. Okay, so I've got my glossy accents here. I don't think I like this neutral on the wood. It's just not showing up well. It's a little too neutral. So we'll take that off. Try another color, but for now we'll just do this little guy. Glue it down. I think it'll sort of act like resin in that it'll dry clear, and then my little flowers will be forever frozen in time underneath, and it'll just make for a sweet little charm. I do have those little eyelet hooks that I can screw into the top, and it could even be a little charm to wear around your neck. So you can't see it right now because I'm sure it needs to dry, and when it dries clear. Wipe this off so I can keep using it. Okay, so there's an example of what I'm doing. I just thought I would come on and show you that I'm playing with little hearts, thinking of Valentine's Day being around the corner. I also like to make little heart cushions, and I usually put those in my Etsy shop, so I'll be putting some of those in my Etsy shop real soon. It's KC Creates with Lace, but my shop is closed right now. I've kept it on vacation for quite a while because my inventory was down so low that I didn't feel like it was a good representation of my work, so I closed it. But with the new year, I'm planning to open it back up because crafting is just so much fun, and it's quite an honor that people actually want to buy it. So I'll put it back in my shop soon. Journals as well. I had been doing lives every Sunday at around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and my plan is to go back to doing lives, but to move the time from 4 to 3 Eastern Standard Time. That way all my lovely friends across the pond won't have to be up so terribly late. I'm adding one more little leaf there. So I haven't decided if I'm definitely coming on this Sunday, because I think there's an event with my son's youth group, which he's still involved with. And those of you who have watched me, you've heard him coming down the stairs right in the middle of my live, leaving for youth. And so I'm going to check the calendar, make sure I'm not going to have to leave and take him anywhere. But I am looking forward to coming back and visiting with you guys. I've missed you, Joan and Joanne, and so many of you that were always so faithful to join me, Angie and Mary, and forgive me if I'm forgetting anybody, but I do think of you often, and I do plan on getting back to doing lives. So anyway, oh, heart overboard. Oh, it didn't ruin, thankfully. So these are my wooden hearts. You might want to try it. I don't know. I found it quite fun. So I'm just going to use up the rest of my balsa wood here. I'm not going to probably make any more. I feel like I've played with it enough to have fun with what I have. So I'll just layer until I run out of balsa wood, and I'll come back and show you what I did with them. Okay, well, please leave me a comment. Thank you for stopping by. If I start doing lives again, maybe you can let me know what you'd like to do. We were doing clay embellishments with air dry clay, and we created a journal, a lace journal. A lot of people that were joining me had never done a journal from start to finish. I also would like to try and do a giveaway on one of my lives, so I'll try to give you a little heads up before I go live to let you know I'm going live. But until then, I hope you are well, are enjoying some type of crafting. If you make videos, please post soon. I love watching you. Hint, hint, Mary. But if not, just join me and I'll be glad to visit with you when we can get together again. Oh wait, all right, take care everyone, and I'll talk to you again soon.